Hi everyone, so I just wanted to go ahead and share with you my budget that I'm doing for the month of August, which is really only part of the month because I will be home back in the US for like the last two weeks of August. So just like I did last time, I work all my numbers out on this just like scratch paper basically, and again, disclaimer, all of these numbers, unless explicitly stated, are in not US currency, so it's gonna look like I have a lot of money. I do not. Alright, so I know in my bank account right now I have again, not US. I do not have a lot of money. Okay, so just like I did last time, I take this amount. I already took out the $1,000 in US that I'm going to take home with me over break. So the only thing that's left for me to take out to calculate my budget is the amount that I am wanting to send back from my loans, like the goal that I set for myself to send back. So that goal is 7,000 US. So I need to transfer this into US. So I have a calculator right here. So let me just do some quick math. Alright, so I just round everything. So I'm going to just pretend like that is 7,760. I don't need to mess with that change. That way that always leaves a little bit more than I'm planning on in my bank account, just in case. I always worry that like a charge is going to come through late, which I know people in the US will say is paranoid, but down here sometimes charges don't come through for a couple of months, so I don't want to be overdrawn. Because down here, if you're overdrawn, they literally just close your bank account. They don't just charge you a fee and wait for you to correct it. They close it. So, okay. So once I take that out, it's going to be 760 because I'm rounding down. So I have 760 US to work with for my budget for, it's like 2.5 weeks, sort of 3 weeks. Yeah, about 2.5 weeks that I need to budget for down here. So let me take that back to EC. So that's, okay, so when I did my budget last month, I calculated that I was going to give myself, or that I should give myself, or that I needed $14.50 EC a month. And then I did my budget every 2 weeks, so that gave me $7.25 EC per every 2 weeks. That's like all my cash envelope money together. And then the first set of 2 weeks, I ended up taking out $300 extra, and the second set, I ended up taking out $200 extra. And I'm expecting, since this is going to be finals, that I probably will do a little bit more eating out, a little bit more eating on campus, a little bit more convenience food, and to me that's okay, because at the end of the day, I'm here to get my degree, so if it helps me study, if it boost my mood while I'm studying for an hour or two, you know, I can afford that couple dollars in the long run. It's going to be worth it to me. So this will be my baseline, and then I'm going to add to this. So that way, what I'd like to have at the end is about 1,000 EC left in my bank account after I send everything back. So if I subtract 1,000, that leaves me with about 1,050 to work with. So I will see what I can do with that. Let's see here. Okay, so then in my Erin Condren planner, this is just, there's like a note page and like motivation page before the monthly spreads. So that's where I always do my budgeting. You guys saw me do it last month. You saw that I list my income is like the money that I'm giving myself to work with basically, and then I list my expenses and then my excess down here, and then these that are starred are what I get cash out for, and then I list, you know, when I put the cash in the envelope, and then if I take out any extra money, and then what I'm left with at the end. So right now I used up all this, but from this amount I do have 45 left over. So okay, let's go to August. Let me write my header up here. Okay, August 2016 budget. So I just want it to be the same as last month, so I'm going to go ahead and peek. So what I'm going to put for my income is the total amount that I have left over, not like what's there after I want, you know, like what I want to be using, but the actual total amount. So that's going to be 2050, I'll just round it, and then plus 45, because I had 45 left from last month. So alright, so alright, and then cooking gas. My landlord still has not billed me for my cooking gas, so I'm estimating that's going to be about 50. Internet, I actually owe to my upstairs neighbor. I can't remember if I think it's 57, but I don't want to write down the wrong thing, so I'm just going to leave that like that. I think I'm getting my electric bill pretty soon. I'm expecting that to be around 800 EC. I'm hoping that he will let me pay that out of next semester's loan money. That way, what I have planned and written out, I can return the complete $7,000 that I want to, rather than having to dip into that $7,000 to pay for my electric from this past semester. Okay, so just make a line here, because these next items are going to be what goes into my cash envelopes. So gas for Big Blue, which is my car, groceries, okay. So since I'm going to be here for about 2.5 weeks, I'm going to give myself half as much for gas as I normally would. So that's going to be 75. Groceries. For 2 weeks, I would usually give myself $3.75 for groceries, but I know I went over in that category this month, and I know that I'll probably be buying more this month, more expensive things like snacks and stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna give myself $500 for the 2.5 weeks, and then normally I would give myself about $200 for eating out for 2 weeks. I think I'm gonna bump that up to $300, just because I would rather get the cash out now and then have some left over, rather than have to, you know, I'm gonna send this money back to my loan company, and so there's only going to be a little bit of money left in my bank account, and I do not want to dip into that. I want that to be sitting there waiting for any late charges that might come through, like they like to do down here. Petty cash, usually I give myself $100 for the whole month. I'm just going to give myself $100 for that. I already know that next week I'm looking at like some Tupperware that another student's selling, and I'm looking at a couple shirts that another student's selling. So that's going to come out probably to more than 50 right there. So if I gave myself what I normally would for 2 weeks, I know I'll go over. I don't want to set myself up to go over. And I might go to the movies at some point in the next 2.5 weeks. So I'm going to do the same thing with my miscellaneous, give myself a full 100 instead of 50, which I normally would do. So that is going to come out to 1,075. So excess. Oh, I have that 45 cash, which will be excess, and then I have math. Okay, so I'll have 975 in my bank account, just sitting and waiting. So, okay, so I'm gonna go to the bank and get cash for each of these categories, and I'm actually gonna do something a little bit different this time. What I have been doing is in my wallet, it kind of opens like an expandable file, so instead of keeping everything inside the actual envelope and then having to pull the envelope out and get it out, I've just been sticking it behind the envelope that it belongs to, so it's kind of actually works like an expandable file. So I think I'm actually going to set it up like that this time, because for the last 2 weeks of July that worked pretty well for me. Okay, so let's see, August 1st, this will be what I start with, and then we'll go all the way through to August 18th and we'll see what I end up with. Hopefully I have some left over. And then something else that I really want to work on this month, which I had the highest hopes for myself that I was actually going to do it in the month of July, and I just didn't at all. I really am going to try to write down every single thing that I buy, every single thing that I spend money on. I might jot it down here. I might jot it down a bunch of different places. I have gotten a couple of recommendations from a financial advisor kind of guy. He was here doing a seminar. I got a couple recommendations about good apps for that don't require you to link your bank account, because the bank account I have down here does not link. Like apps like the Mint app don't recognize this bank as real. So I need something that doesn't require your bank account, but that I can log my transactions in. So, although actually an app's not going to be all that helpful considering my phone has died, but I could put it on my iPad. So if anyone has any recommendations for how they track their spending, keeping in mind that I don't have a computer with me all the time, I don't have a phone with me all the time, and I don't have a notebook with me all the time, but I might have any one of those with me at any given time, help. So yeah, looking for advice on that. Okay, so I will be right back once I get the cash, and I will show you how I put it in my wallet. Okay, so I went ahead and got the cash for the month of August. Let me go ahead. So this is what my wallet is like. I'm trying to get to keeping coins in here. We'll see, but coins down here include both like dollars. There's dollar coins down here, so that's annoying. So this is what I'm working with. I was just keeping my envelopes in there, but I was finding it a crazy hassle to pull out the envelope, pull out the cash, So I'm gonna try not doing that this time. What I'm gonna try doing is just putting them in here. I kind of have an order of like what I dig into the most. So for me, that's eating out. When I have this wallet with me, it's usually because I'm like buying food at school. So the very backmost one is going to be my eating out envelope. So I'll put my eating out money behind there. And then petty cash and miscellaneous are just, I don't know, I don't use them very often. And then groceries I use pretty often, but I was finding myself a lot of time accidentally pulling grocery money out when I was wanting to use eating out money, or vice versa. So I want to not keep them right next to each other because I had them next to each other for the last 2 weeks. So I'm gonna have that as my first slot, and then my miscellaneous, my petty cash, and then in the very back my eating out money. And then my gas money I usually just keep in this zipper part. Let me get my change out of there. Until I remember to put it in my car. I do have an actual envelope that I keep in my car for my gas money. And then I also was thinking that I might, instead of having these envelopes here, we'll see what I decide to do, but I might get some like nice thick cardstock and cut out actual dividers so that I can put the name of what it is on the tab. Or I also was thinking, I know Rachel Cruz does like a clip system with binder clips, and of course I don't have a binder clip sitting right with me, but I could put a binder clip on top of here and write the name of what, you know, what money it is on the binder clip with like on some washi or something, but we shall see. So for now I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, so here's my cash. So first I have $75 that's going for gas. Again, not US dollars, so I'm just gonna hide it from myself back here so I don't accidentally use it for something else until I remember to put it in my car, or until I get gas, because I think that'll fill my tank up, and once it's filled up I don't think I'll need to get any more gas until next semester. And then let's see, $500 for groceries, which is gonna be the very first one, $100 for miscellaneous, $100 for petty cash, and then $300 for eating out. And then my extra cash, that $45 of extra cash, I have in my other wallet, so I might just I'm gonna try not to use that. I'm gonna maybe tuck that into like my desk drawer, like in case of emergency towards the end of the semester or something like that. Or I might use that to pay my neighbor for the internet, which is actually what I probably should do because I need to pay her. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna see how this works for the next 2 weeks. I'm not gonna do a budget for the last 2 weeks of August because those last 2 weeks of August I will be home in the US, I'll be on vacation, I'll be spending probably my money, some money from my US account, and then probably my mom is gonna cover me for most things. Because, you know, I'm a poor student. And then my September budget will start after I get my loan money, which I'm expecting to be around September 2nd, between September 2nd and 5th. So I will see you guys at that time. I'll see you in September. Bye!